are we truly living? The title of this book refers to the places inside of us that our emotions dwell. I have imagined this book as a space where you can be with your emotions and stay with yourself, even when it feels like you're being swallowed whole and the desire to push away is real and fervent. By personifying our emotions and approaching them as we would dear friends, sitting a while and conversing, we can begin to approach them with curiosity and compassion. We can grow to understand them and, in turn, ourselves more deeply. Personifying our emotions to acknowledge and process. The first emotion I ever personified was discomfort. My husband and I had just flown from our home in California to the East Coast, where both our families lived. Besides the couple of bags we had packed, we were also carrying the tremendous weight of a recent kitchen fire in our apartment, a new marriage, and a 3-month stay apart at our childhood homes while we prepared to build a tiny house back in the Bay Area. There was a lot of change, quick change at that, and it left me feeling ungrounded and emotional. One of the first nights we arrived, I sat next to a roaring fireplace at my childhood home. Our English bulldog, Olive, was next to me, fast asleep, and time slowed down just a little. It slowed down enough for me to feel the discomfort I was carrying and for me to create space to sit with my emotion, to better understand what it was trying to tell me. What I heard surprised me, but also gave me relief. What I heard was a voice that didn't quite sound like mine, but came from within. What I heard was someone else in need. And so the conversation between us began. Discomfort was soft, yet rugged. He was intimidating and intense, but at his core, he was tired. He was lonely. He wanted to be heard. The more I sat with him, the more I understood these parts of myself. And the more I understood these parts of myself, the easier it was to have compassion and eventually acceptance for them, like I would have for another human. He helped shine a light on what I needed to feel secure and held. That night, I walked away feeling not only lighter, but seen. I remembered that I did this intuitively as a child, created worlds and used narrative reframing to process fear, pain, and trauma. In taking the time to acknowledge, feel, and converse with my emotion, I gave myself what we all want and need and often look for from others: belonging and validity. And because of that, it was immovable. It was integrative. And albeit sometimes incredibly challenging, it was always there for me to return to. Throughout Dwell, we will meet our emotions at their homes or at places of their choosing in different landscapes all over the world. When we can imagine where these emotions live in a physical realm or in a tangible way, we can begin to think of our emotions as having homes inside us instead of taking over our whole selves. They begin to feel like people. They need to be talked to in a certain way, worked with in a certain way, held and cared for. Like people, they have their own unique set of terms, and we therefore have our own unique way of processing each of them. We learn how to approach each emotion we have with curiosity instead of expectation. The emphasis is not so much on where the emotions live, but more so that they, like us, have a home and a life that we step into. This human-like humbleness is what makes them approachable, and it's also what makes them special to us. My hope is that the rather whimsical process of personifying your emotions will also allow you to step inside your own imagination and creativity, giving you better access to your emotions with less judgment. When we're deep in an emotion, we're accessing our limbic system, making it hard to access our neocortex or our logical thinking brain. Choosing curiosity or creativity allows us to move from our emotional brains and into our logical brains, to choose words for our emotions and therefore create worlds in which they live. According to the Flourishing Center, which offers the world's leading certificate program in applied positive psychology, word choice matters. Words create worlds. The more words we have to express our emotions, the richer our internal world is. Within this book, you'll find 48 emotions placed into 5 different worlds or categories. As mentioned previously, this book and process are not about viewing emotions as negative versus positive. These categories are my artistic take on different ways we feel our emotions: prickly, full-bodied, groovy, spacious, and transcendent. As with the nuanced beauty of emotions, there are hundreds of thousands of different places our emotions live. And where these emotions live in this book are completely subjective. I encourage you to create your own categories in which your emotions dwell. Creating worlds in which we meet our emotions also serves the purpose of reminding us that we are visiting them. There is an arrival and a departure.